Our relationship with TVW from the very beginning, April of 1995, was positive. They always complied with our reasonable requests as to how the broadcasting should take place in the courtroom. And I was always impressed with the employees, and I wanted to be a part of it after I retired from the court. So when they asked me, I said yes. I was actually on a committee of two. Justice Charles C. Smith and myself were appointed by our Chief Justice, Barbara Durham, to look into whether this was a good idea to have our hearings televised and how it would work. Justice Smith had a lot of experience with television. He worked for Como at one time as a commentator. I had zero experience with television, but I knew that this was a good idea and something that we ought to pursue. And we did, Justice Smith and I did recommend it to the court that we allow the broadcasting, and we had certain conditions that we laid down, which TVW readily met. And I think it's been a totally positive thing for the public and for the court. Well, it's a total positive for open government and transparency, particularly at a time when, because of what's going on in the newspaper industry, particularly, and to some extent on commercial television, there isn't as much coverage of our government as there was at an earlier time. And so I think it's important that our public has an opportunity to view the government in action, the legislature, the Supreme Court, parts of the executive branch, for themselves. And so I think it's always been important that TVW exists ever since its beginning, but I think it's more important right now than ever because of the reduced media coverage of our government. Some people say, oh, nobody will watch the Supreme Court. It's too boring, they're not going to watch it. So I didn't think that was the case, but one day I was driving to Seattle. I stopped at the rest area in Fife. You know, you can buy a little cup of coffee there. They usually have some charitable organization selling coffee and donuts and so on. And I went over and then walked over, and this fellow said, Justice Alexander, so great to see you. And I'm pretty good on recognizing people that I know. I didn't recognize this fellow, and I said, I'm really sorry, I don't remember where we met. And he said, oh, you don't know me. He said, I watched the court on TVW. He said, I am a TVW junkie. I still remember him saying that. And I thought, great, that's exactly what I hoped would happen.